Hello, my name is Dr. Patrick Mauville, and I am excited to be here today with our colleagues from the Small Business Administration offices here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to highlight a successful local entrepreneur who is having great success in the performing arts. So Janet, it's wonderful to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the SBA. I'm Janet Heil from the U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, the Western Pennsylvania Pittsburgh District Office. And we may just be the best kept secret in the federal government and in your neighborhood. Why, you're asking? Well, we help grow the economy through small business ownership. And we do that by offering free counseling, loans, the opportunity to sell to the government. And in disasters, we're here for you, whether it's flooding, droughts, fires, tornadoes. The SBA is on the ground offering low interest loans to both small businesses and homeowners. Can you believe it? And throughout the pandemic, we have been here side by side with small businesses, helping them stay the course. Today, we hope to teach you about our free counseling services and our microloans that our guest, BreAnna, utilized.
Fantastic. Thank you for that introduction and welcome to the show, BreAnna.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your background, maybe where everything started and how you started in the performing arts, and then a little bit about the journey to where you ended up today.
Absolutely. So the performing arts have been a huge part of my life ever since I was little. Started playing piano when I was 5, started dancing when I was 7. Always loved to sing and perform and to act, and involved with all the musicals in school and show choir, and performing was just my life. If you've seen those t-shirts that say, "Sorry, I can't, I have dance," that was me growing up. And then when I went to college, I knew that someday I wanted to open up my own performing arts center. So I actually majored in business at Clarion University, and I minored in musical theater for a little while, and eventually just focused on business as well. But while I was in college, there was some movement in our community, some changes within the local dance studio where I had grown up. It came under new ownership my senior year of high school, and sometime in college, I just felt like there was an opportunity in our community to provide a performing arts experience that was really focused on building up character first and foremost. It wasn't a place that was all about winning awards and doing competitions and cranking out the next World of Dance winner, but was about just having a fun place where kids could come and dance and learn all about the performing arts, knowing that the performing arts benefit kids even if they don't go on to pursue it after high school. It's just, it builds so many great character strengths. And so that was a huge passion of mine. I had no idea that I would be opening one in Clarion or in college for that matter, but everything just kind of happened fairly quickly, actually. So it was my sophomore year of college, just listening to people in the community, some connections that I had about wanting a different kind of dance studio. Again, just something that wasn't so focused on competitions and a little bit more just focused on the love of the performing arts. And then I also knew somewhere that you could get everything, that you could get your dance and your music and your theater. That just didn't exist here in Clarion. And so as I was talking to people, I was also made aware of a business plan competition that Pennsylvania does with all the state school systems. And I decided to go ahead and move forward with the business plan competition, which then the university got us in touch with the Small Business Development Center that's connected to Clarion University. And so I worked very closely with them to create a business plan for the competition. Went through the competition. I want to say I made it into maybe like the top 21 or so, but didn't end up winning any of the top awards, but the business plan was already done. So the SBDC had helped me create a very thorough, very complete business plan. And at that point I probably had about 50 families that said, yeah, if you do this, we'd be in. So I went ahead and took that business plan and started acting on it. Started looking for a location to rent here in town. Started talking to some different dance teachers that I know, see if they'd be on board to come and teach with me. And then started working on getting the funding as well. So the SBDC actually then put me in touch with a local community bank. And it was Mr. Eric Funk who got me in touch with Bridgeway Capital, which I know they've got some branches in Pittsburgh and in Erie and kind of cover a big chunk of Pennsylvania. And it was Bridgeway Capital that was able to provide me with a small startup loan to get things rolling and getting the equipment and everything that I needed for this. So that was kind of spring 2013 when that was all happening. Launched my website in June of 2013 and started accepting registrations, and we opened classes in the fall of 2013 with 150 students on our very first day. So that was, and I honestly say, like, it really was just the community coming on board and just wanting this so badly, because the only kind of marketing that I did is I had a Facebook page and I hung up some flyers. But other than that, it was just purely word of mouth for that first summer of getting everything finalized and open and all that kind of stuff. So great people at the SBDC, just being able to see all of that come to fruition. And now we're in our 8th season and going strong.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I definitely want to get into the role of the SBDC and the SBA in terms of kind of the business side of the element in terms of resources. But before we jump into that right away, what gave you the courage to make that transition? And as you said, just kind of jump right into it and make this happen and come to fruition at such an early age, because again, it wasn't in necessarily your kind of your vision, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, being an entrepreneur involves a lot of calculated risk taking. And I've always been I've always been a calculated risk taker when it comes to just kind of going for things. I think my background as a performer really helps with that too. It takes a lot of courage just to get out on stage and just to go for it. I also think a big part of it too, growing up, my dad was huge about instilling leadership strengths in us. So many conversations around the dinner table had to do with just talking about leadership in general. In fact, we were actually huge fans of The Apprentice show.
Ah, yes.
And my dad would always use it as a teaching opportunity. We would watch an episode and then we would talk about it.
Oh, wow.
What did the project manager do right? Or what did they do wrong? And kind of that thing. So I think that I was kind of primed to be in the world of business from an early age. And my dad's not, he's actually a pastor here for a
wow.
So I guess, I mean, he does a lot of leadership himself, but definitely different from a for-profit business kind of aspect. So I knew from a very early age, actually, that I wanted to own my own business. So kind of already had that mindset of owning my own business. I started teaching piano lessons in 7th or 8th grade. I was pretty young when I started teaching piano. So already was working with like a list of customers and keeping track of payments and like, you know, little things like that. I mean, a big part of it too was just having the right people around you. I had a couple of professors at the university whose daughters danced with my sister. And then they had a couple of younger girls at the time too. And they were some of the first ones that were like, BreAnna, you should do this. And so I think that, like, knowing that I was being backed up by these business professors saying, they said, we believe in you, we know you can do it. So I think that helped too. And yeah, I mean, just having the right people around you makes that step a lot easier. And I've said this before to groups of college kids, that college is a great time to start your own business, because like if it fails, you really don't have anything to worry about, because I was still living at home. I was still under my parents' insurance. I didn't have to worry about all those kind of adult expenses yet. I was only 19 when I officially launched Clarion Center for the Arts. But I really think that that's a great time to start a business, because
it is.
Really got nothing to lose.
And that's such good advice, especially you look at younger entrepreneurs of that demographic in college. Everything you just said is very true. And if there's ever a better time to go for it, influence did they have on the creative process as it related to your own business plan? Did it change in any way, or were you still kind of, here's where I'm going, and if I build this, this is going to work? Or did you allow that outside influence to help build what you have today?
Sure. I think that I had a pretty clear vision of what I wanted this to look like. So the SBDC was great with just coming alongside me and kind of pointing out, filling in the gaps of things that I didn't know in terms of creating a business plan. Needing to nail down a lawyer that I was going to have be able to reach out to when I needed them, or nailing down an accountant, kind of little things like that. As far as the creative aspect of designing the business and everything, I did look to my former dance teacher for a lot of guidance, and there were definitely some things that she pointed out to me, even just in terms of exactly what classes we were going to offer. And she made some good points to me, and I listened to her advice and following that. And then even the team of teachers that I had right off the bat had some great input into, again, the kind of classes that we were going to offer and things like that. But as far as the overall mission, again, that mission of using the arts to make a difference and to build character into our students, that's something that has been with me since 8th grade, actually, in terms of wanting to do something. So that I stuck to that throughout the whole process.
Now, Janet, as you listen to BreAnna's story, listening to her journey, you hear things like the SBDC Center, the business plan, the micro lending, and that community of individuals to help her move from the vision to actually, implementing and developing and launching the Center of Performing Arts. From your perspective, in working with BreAnna and other individuals from the area, how important are those resources, and how important are those resources in particular to that individual's journey in launching their visions?
Those services are actually very, very important. And believe it or not, the counseling is free. SBDCs, women's business centers, and SCORE chapters, they're all funded in part by your tax dollars. And what they do is, with any business, they'll look at your business opportunity, your idea, your passion, and they'll see if it's a viable business. They'll see if it solves a problem, what differentiates you, and can all of that combined turn into a business for you. And once you're working with them, they will help you every step of the way. They'll create that business plan for you. They'll highlight what is differentiating you from other businesses. They'll even look at, if you need funding, like BreAnna did, and almost every small business does, they'll look and project financial statements to help you present to a lender. And it'll be, if I wanted to open a cake shop or BreAnna's dance studio, they'll let you know how many students or classes or cakes you have to make a week to pay back that loan. And they also have all those connections in the community to partner you with a lender like Bridgeway Capital. And Bridgeway is so unique, and we have a lot of micro lenders, and they're nonprofit intermediaries. They lend money to individuals, a lot of startups, and they're more concerned about what you're bringing, your experience, and your ability to pay bills versus a super, super high credit score. And, you know, the amount is from a few thousand to up to 50,000. And just think of what you could do with that. You could start, you know, a cafe. We've had cafe persons, cookie makers, and you could even start a landscaping business, buying a truck, some equipment, some signage, even a plow. And the really unique thing is they also provide technical assistance. Now that sounds like a very, very fancy term, like, oh my goodness, what is technical assistance? It just sounds way over the head. It's really free help. They want you to succeed. So we've had micro lenders help with websites, business cards. We have one that not only provides you QuickBooks to help you pay your bills, but a tutor. And that same micro lender provides Facebook training so you can market your business. They want you to succeed. They want you to grow and thrive and pay them back. And so they're really important. Just always remember to contact the SBA for free assistance. That's what we're here for.
Now, when we utilize these services, Janet, is it something that, it's a defined period of time, maybe during the initial phases of an entrepreneur's launching of a business, or is that something that can be extended through the life cycle, as they continue to mature?
It's actually through the life cycle. We've had startups that continue to go back to that SBDC, their counselor, whether it's SCORE or the Women's Business Center. They keep bouncing ideas off them. Maybe they want to open a second location. Maybe they want to expand. We've had a chef that keeps going back. He's been in business 20 years, has won many accolades. It keeps going back to his SBDC counselor to bounce ideas off him. It's all free. They have your file. They have everything that you've done. They work with you nonstop. They'll help you get loans. And actually during the pandemic, they've been helping their clients with PPP loans and EIDL loans. So they'll help you with the whole process. They're there for you. And everything they do is confidential and one-on-one.
Fantastic. BreAnna, what are you most excited about, as you look over the next year or two in terms of the growth of your, Performing Arts Center?
So one of the things that we've been, well, I guess over the last few years, we keep seeing groups of students getting stronger and stronger as our curriculum and just program continues to develop and get more solid. I have some big plans for kind of taking the next step in that direction for the fall in terms of really solidifying our curriculum for each class and the progression that students go through with the program. And I think that's really important for retention. That's been a big focus of mine this year and moving forward, just to do what we can to keep students engaged and excited. And a big part of that is kind of gamifying what we're doing. So letting them be able to track their progress, letting them be able to see the awards and prizes and different things that they're getting for each little accomplishment along the way. So that's something that I am really excited about. And then also kind of growing our music program a little bit more. So I recently came back on board as a piano and voice teacher for us, and have started accepting younger voice students, which is something I haven't done in the past. So that's kind of a new area for us. So that's really exciting. But I mean, the most exciting thing is that we bought a building in 2019 and moved into it last summer. And so just being able to see the continued growth from having more space would be a lot of fun.
BreAnna, can you describe what the Clarion Small Business Development Center did for you and Bridgeway Capital to help your business grow and thrive?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the SBDC helped me form the business plan. I worked very closely with who is now the director of the Clarion Small Business Development Center, Cindy Nellis, and she helped me create the entire business plan. And so that meant doing marketing research, which I think was a huge piece. So they have resources for looking into the demographics of my target market in the area. So they're able to come up with all kinds of facts and little bits about the target market to be able to show the lender how this will be successful. So that was really important, as well as coming up with the feasibility analysis, the forecast of how cash flow is going to work with the business and all that kind of stuff. So creating the business plan was then important for securing a startup loan. And so then working with Bridgeway Capital, they were able to provide me with $44,000 of a startup loan, which covered some working capital and money for dance floors, mirrors, bars, music systems, computer, different things like that that we needed to get the ground running. And the other great thing about working with the SBDC and Bridgeway Capital, and Janet, you touched on the credit score thing, is as a 19-year-old college student, I hadn't even had my first credit card yet. So as far as like credit score and all that kind of stuff, there was really no history at all for them to be able to look at with that. And Bridgeway Capital was great, getting me the loan for that on only 5% interest. So that was another great aspect of that small business loan. And yeah, and so that's how they definitely helped me there.
And what kind of technical assistance did they help you with?
So the SBDC has helped me with some search engine optimization with my website. So they were able to review my website and give me some pointers of some different things that I needed to fix so that my website would appear as close to the top as possible in people's Google searches. And I think that's been very, very helpful. I always ask new families when they come through how they heard about us. And I do get a lot of people saying it was just a Google search. And so that means they looked up, you know, dance classes in Clarion or dance classes near me, and we're one of the first things to pop up, and they're drawn to our website and kind of get that going there. The SBDC also helped me as I was looking for a building to buy, as well as looking for a place to rent. So Cindy was actually able to give me you know, names of different realtors, you know, that I could go to and be able to kind of figure out the best fit for me and get their help with securing both the place that we rented and then also the new building that we're in. So that's been some of the different ways that the SBDC has helped me out.
I also wanted to interject that BreAnna was lauded as our 2017 Western Pennsylvania Young Entrepreneur of the Year, which is actually a very big deal because we cover 27 counties. We go from Erie to Greene County all the way over to State College. This is a huge deal. And we were just so impressed with her package. Not only starting the business, taking classes full time, doing the homework, teaching dance 5 nights a week, I mean, and actually doing the operations of the business while, again, being a student. I mean, we were very impressed, but we were also extremely gratified to know that she gives back to the community. She has many, many philanthropic projects, and that set her apart because small businesses, and it's really wonderful to always shop small and dine small because they give back to the community. They hire people for their first jobs. Half of people are employed by small businesses, and you know they're the first to step up to the plate to help in the community. So BreAnna, can you like touch on some of the really unique projects you've done, especially the Sparky Bucks?
Yeah, so our Sparky Bucks, as Janet said, is our award system. I actually have one right here. This is what they look like. So these are our little Sparky Bucks. And students can earn Sparky Bucks for anything that a teacher wants to give them Sparky Bucks for. So remembering choreography, just working hard in class, accomplishing something that they've been working at for a while, or even just being a good friend. I've given it out to students when I've noticed them just being a good friend to their classmates. And then we have our own little Sparky store that students can spend their Sparky Bucks at. So it's a great opportunity to even teach kids at a young age about saving, because if they have more Sparky Bucks, they can get the bigger prizes. So that's kind of a fun little tool and resource there. But then the other fun thing about the Sparky Bucks
Yes.
is every year, it's traditionally we've done the first year that it started, we had a book called Beatrice's Goat. And the book was about how a young girl and her family in Africa received a gift of a goat to their family, and how that goat just changed their lives, how they had now an opportunity to get some income for their family, the milk giving them healthier bodies, and then just all the different ways that this little gift of a goat changed this small family's life. And then what we would do is, after reading that book, we then encourage our students to donate their Sparky Bucks toward getting a goat through Compassion International, which is an organization that works around the world with helping bring people out of poverty. And so we set the goal of 1,000 Sparky Bucks. So then collectively, once all of our students reach that goal of giving 1,000 Sparky Bucks, we then go through Compassion International to purchase a goat for someone in need on behalf of all the kids. So that was a fun thing that we started a handful of years ago, and then have been doing that every year. Some other just ways that we put our core values into practice. Our core values here are compassion, confidence, and creativity. And I always say there's a reason we put compassion first. So I call them our compassion in action projects. And the first one that we started off with in our very first year, we took a dance to competition. We do attend one competition a year just for the educational experience of getting out, performing for other people, and getting to meet dancers from other studios and things like that. But we took a dance that told a story about children living in poverty. And we actually collected pledges from friends and family to donate a certain amount based on the award we would get at competition. And then that donation we sent on over to Compassion International. And so we did that our very first year of business, very first year doing competition. And then we've kept up with that tradition every single year, choosing a new cause and a new organization to donate to. And recently we've tried to kind of focus our attentions to local communities as well. So we did a dance on mental health issues, and we raised money for our local Center for Community Resources that provides services for people with mental health. We did a dance on that kind of told a story about foster care. And so we raised money for the local children and youth services and the resources that they provide for foster children and foster families. And then this year, our theme is all about travel. And so we took dances to competition that had to do with different things about traveling. So we did a Polar Express medley and some different things like that. And we actually raised money for the Clarion Community Transit. We reached out to them to see what their needs were. And so specifically, they said that they're in need of funding for trips to Pittsburgh for people with disabilities or for the elderly who need to get to Pittsburgh for medical appointments. So it was a very specific need that they have that we were able to raise money. If everyone, and this was recent, so if everyone turns in their donations based on how they pledged, we would actually be able to provide 15 trips for the Clarion Community Transit to get people to Pittsburgh for medical appointments. So that's been really fun, and again, trying to do some different local things with that. And it's a great opportunity for our students too, because they get involved. They're the ones that go to friends and family to raise the donations, raise the pledges. And it also creates awareness for them. It gives us a great opportunity to be able to talk about the needs in our community and just the needs that different people face that they may not be aware of. And so from a very young age, they're learning about some of these different issues and learning how to be compassionate toward those issues. So that's been a lot of fun over the years.
Amazing. It's such an amazing background, like you said, and it's not just a business, it's a humanistic approach to, you know, launching your vision, but also staying connected to the local community, which is always amazing. And honestly, when I talk to my students about, being entrepreneurs and starting their business, yes, you have to be solvent. Yes, you have to worry about the bottom line, but at the same time, if you can connect it to your passions and help, the communities around you, you're just going to get so much more in return than if you were to just set up a business solely focused on how much am I going to sell today or how much money I can make. So Janet, any final thoughts that you have with regards to BreAnna's journey and what she's been able to accomplish in and around Clarion through the Performing Arts Center?
We hear stories as wonderful as BreAnna's every day. It's just so wonderful, the entrepreneurs that we meet. They give back so much, and really not many people know about it. They're the lifeblood of the community, and I can't urge you enough to shop and dine local. And if you're interested in starting a business, don't hesitate to call us. Our number is 412-395-6560. Somebody will get back to you within 24 hours. And you can visit our website, sba.gov, click on the local assistance tab, type in your zip code, and the SBDCs, women's business centers, and SCORE chapters will pop up. We will help you every step of the way.
Fantastic. Thank you. And BreAnna, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out our website, clarioncenterforthearts.com. Has all kinds of information about us, as well as if you're interested in getting started with us, how you can do that. It has our number on there, our email address, and then we're also on Facebook. So just facebook.com/Clarion Center for the Arts. And those are some great ways to stay connected with us.
Excellent. And we'll make sure to provide those resources again in the show notes, just to make sure it's an easier way to make sure everyone connects with you. And I, like I said, on behalf of Janet and the SBA, I want to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to illuminate the work that you are doing in Clarion through your Performing Arts Center and the local community. We appreciate it. And, from my perspective, again, coming back to your core values of compassion, confidence, and creativity, I have the great fortune of teaching a lot of performing arts students from our own conservatory at our university. And, the courage and the perseverance and the heart that they bring just even to the classes that I think emerges from the performing arts. That's in and of itself is just an amazing characteristic. And watching you blend, your vision with the performing arts and those characteristics, I have no doubt you're going to continue to be successful, in the coming years.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you so much for having me. This was an absolute honor.